This is the new MGHS, and yeah, just like you, I actually can't believe that we have another shape that has been released of this car. In fact, I think this car has been the most revised on the new car market, and it does come from China. And you know my thoughts on that in a minute. I think Chinese cars are being produced to such a high quality for a very little price, and I really do not think they should be ignored. The MGHS starts at just under 25 grand, and this particular model is just under 34 grand. But as always,
we don't care about the purchase price. What we actually care about is the cost per month, and this one is cheap. At around £240 a month, it's just damn right impressive, especially for the amount of car you get. So you know what to do, pause this video and head over to our website to make an inquiry.
Now, I want to start with the styling. Evidently, this car has had a complete shape change, complete styling transformation, and I think it looks absolutely fantastic. The lights are different. You've got these fog lights down there, lovely gloss black grills, very snouty looking front end. It actually does look a lot bigger, this car, albeit the dimensions are only slightly bigger than the previous model. But from the first look at the front, I think it looks rather impressive. And if we take a look at the back, this is where most of the changes have actually happened. It looks completely different. Now, the previous model, I used to always say, it kind of reminded me of the rear end of a Mercedes GLC. Well, this now is actually its own looking car. You've got a very sharp edge here, very boxy sort of looking back end, lovely LED light bar that transfers all the way around, and then you've got this like fake sort of carbon fiber material that transfers all the way around the side of the car into the side steps, and you have gloss black details everywhere. I think it looks really pretty, and when we get onto the interior, you'll realize how pretty this car actually is inside. And then we have the dad statistic, which obviously is the boot. Is 507 litres, and if that's not enough for you, if you fold the rear seats down, you can expand that to just shy of 1,500 litres, and let's face it, that's about the same capacity as a hot tub in a garden. I don't know how you'd use this. We're not going down that route. You also get this like parcel luggage protector, so thieves can't see in from the boot, but then again, I won't worry about that because you've got this really, really dark privacy glass, and I just can't see anything in there other than my pretty reflection. Oh. Now, if we just pop the bonnet and lift this up, we'll talk about what actually powers it. Now, with this being the trophy model and the top spec model that you can actually buy, this is the hybrid version, or more importantly, the PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Now, it has a 1.5 litre turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine with a 24.7 kilowatt-hour battery strapped to it, and you'd be surprised at the numbers. It produces 366 horsepower, 419 newton meters of torque, a 0 to 60 of 6.8 seconds, and the best bit, a top speed of 102 miles per hour. The other thing I should also talk about is you can drive this car on isolated battery mode only. The other thing to also consider is charge speeds of this car are not the best. You can only charge it at 7 kilowatts single phase and 22 kilowatts 3-phase, meaning that a full battery on this car is going to take roughly 4 hours. And then there's the range. The range is only 75 miles. But then again, I would much rather drive a hybrid other than an electric vehicle. Now, MG offer 5 colour options on this car. This particular colour is an added option of around 500 quid, and it's called Sterling Silver. But in my opinion, it looks more champagne.
Enough of the colours, more about the tech.
I'm actually surprised at how much everything has changed on this car. The style just is all different. These mirrors are absolutely massive. They're electric folding, they have blind spot assist, and they're also heated, and they have a little camera in the end there. So one thing to be wary of when driving this car is don't clip anything with them, because I can imagine that being quite expensive. Speaking of expensive repairs, you also get 18-inch diamond cut alloy wheels, so for all you curb addicts, be very careful. It's also roof rail ready, and what that means is if you do like going camping, you can slap a tent box on the roof, a roof box, a surfboard, skis, whatever you want to do. And that's why it's an SUV, sports utility vehicle. And that brings me on to say, here's 5 things that I wish the MGHS had.
The main one being wireless Apple CarPlay, USB-C ports, a cheat button for muting the bings and bongs,
Shut up!
More about this later, ambient lighting, and of course, faster charging capacity. But for £240 a month, I'm sure I can live without all of the above. Now, what's the interior like?
Where do I begin with just how fantastic this interior is? Honestly, it is so much better than the last model. Now, don't get me wrong, you can still choose some very wacky colours. With that said, everything is a lot better. When you got in the old HS, it was still a nice interior, but there were little things that were a little bit tacky about it. One of them being that red sport button. Steering wheel in this car, absolutely gorgeous, chunky feel, perforated leather on the side so you can grip it. These lovely knurled brushed aluminium joysticks, lovely long screen that's split into two, and I think that's definitely taken inspiration from Mercedes and BMW. You have electric seats, driver and passenger. You've got electric windows all round, electric mirrors. You have this lovely nice leather feeling gear selector down here, auto hold brake, hill descent control, electronic handbrake and a park button. Lovely nice feeling to these vents, look very smart. A cubby down here to shove some things away, a wireless charger down there, a nice glove box, this lovely wavy sort of like lined rubbery plastic on the door, very, very premium, and everything just feels really solid.
Speaking of finishes, do they transfer into the back?
Well, if you've got kids and they're a 6'4" Mancunian like myself, I think you'll find space in the back is absolutely perfect. In fact, the headroom is impressive, the legroom, and you also have nearly flat floors. Obviously, they're not 100% flat because this car still has a combustion engine, but I tell you what, quality, feel, luxuriousness, comfortable, perfect. I think MG have absolutely nailed it with this model. Well, the first thing you notice definitely feels quite wallowy. You know, the centre of gravity with the weight of the batteries is right at the bottom of this car, and when you do, there you go, the wheel slipped. Yeah, not sure why. That just shows how much power is behind that electric motor, and if I just do it again, round the corner, there you go, the front wheels slip. It does gain traction, but it's got enough punch to certainly get past maybe a tractor in the way, the odd cyclist, or maybe you just need to overtake a middle lane sitter on the motorway. Because this is a hybrid and it does have that small petrol engine strapped to it, it definitely feels very torquey, and that's obviously where the 419 Newton meters of torque comes into play. I'm currently driving in normal mode and I have the steering set up in sport mode, and that's just mainly to give it a bit of feel. One thing I have noticed though, in this car, albeit it is 10 times better than the previous MGHS, is those mirrors are absolutely massive and they do kind of get in the way a little bit. They could do with probably being positioned more further forward so the edge of the mirror actually lines up with the C-pillar and then it doesn't get in the way of the view. There is, however, one major issue. It's this little camera over here. Now, you can't see the lens, it's just a tinted dark piece of black plastic, but my God, it nags, as you can hear now. I am focusing on the road. Stop. It continues to do this. It continues to warn you that you're going faster than the speed limit by 1 mile per hour. This. Shut up. Stop. Please. Stop it. I don't want any warnings. The thing is, with the driver awareness warning, the speed warning, the passenger warning, the seatbelt warning, every other bloody warning whatsoever apart from what are the winning lottery numbers, you cannot just turn it off.
But if you want to turn it off, and believe me, you absolutely will, you first need to stop in a safe place, put it into park, apply the handbrake and enter the menu. You then have to enter a sub-menu and have to individually turn each and every one of the audible tones off, and then you're good to go.
Now, when this car got delivered to me by MG press office, the battery wasn't charged, so it was just driving on the petrol motor, and you could really tell that power was down. I think this car only produces around 150 horsepower without the battery motor. Obviously, adding that just shy of a 25 kilowatt hour battery onto it, you're going to gain an extra 116 horsepower. Now that the battery is charged and I have 62 miles in it, I'm in normal mode. I'm just going to flick this into sport mode, and straight away you feel the resistance disappear off the regenerative braking. I'm just going to slow down, and it is pretty quick. Not sure it's 6.8 seconds 0 to 60 quick,
but it's quick enough. And that's what this car is. It's more than enough for £240 a month. And it's a fantastic all-rounder. But there's still one part of me that wants to prove the claim 0 to 60.
I'll actually count it out loud. 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 seconds. It's quick, but it doesn't feel 6.8 seconds quick. The other thing to be aware of is it doesn't tell you the total range. It tells you the total range of the battery and the total range of the petrol engine, and you do have to do a little bit of maths with that. So does anybody know what 109 miles plus 61 miles is? I do. It's 170 miles. So yeah, be aware of that if maths wasn't your strong point. Anyway, I think it's time for a drink. For God's sake!
And that's the thing. China are not just impressing me with their cars, but in fact the whole world. A decade ago, most Britons couldn't even name a Chinese automotive brand, and now we have lots of them. Aura, BYD, Xpeng, JQ, Omoda, and that's only naming a few. The one hurdle I struggle to stride over though are the names. I just cannot imagine telling my mates that I drive an Xpeng. I suppose time will help with that. Although you do have to give credit to China, their innovation is changing the world fast, but it's keeping all of the well-known car manufacturers on their toes. Speaking of the MGHS though, I'm absolutely blown away by its quality, especially for the £240 a month, so I urge you not to ignore it.
Tired, definitely not fatigued, still not fatigued, really not fatigued.